can continue with the Austin while Swadeep will sort out his issue. You can put the verse on the screen. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to His from the Father, divine grace, God. All glories to all the international devotees. Hare Krishna, Lord, thank you very much for joining us once again for this Srimad Bhagavatam class. So the devotees were very honored and pleased.
Haribo.
Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
You hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you clearly, Maharaj.
Feel some kind of buzzing. I don't know.
Yeah, we can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, Maharaj.
I can hear you. No
Okay,
problem.
good. So I'll put the verse on the screen, then we can start, Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Durbaga.
Durbaga.
Bata.
Bata.
Loka. Ayam. Yadava.
Yadava.
Nitaram.
Nitaram.
Api.
Ye.
Samvasanta. Na. Vidu. Harim. Mina. Iva Udupam. Durbago Batalokoyam. Yadavo Nitaramapi. Ye Samvasanto na Vidur. Arimina Ivodupam. Durbago Batalokoyam. Yadavo Nitaramapi. Ye Samba Santo na Vidur. Arimbina Ivodupam. Okay, someone else?
Durbago Batalokoyam. Yadavo Nitaram Api. Ye Samvan Santuna Avidu. Harim Mina Ivodupam.
Durbago Batalokoyam. Yadavo Nitaram Api. Ye Samva Santo Navidu. Harimena Ivodupam.
Thank you, Mother.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, anyone else? Durbaga. Unfortunate. Bata. Certainly. Loka. Universe. I am. This. Yadava. The Yadu dynasty. Nitaram. More specifically. Api. Also. Yea. Those. Sambasanta. Living together. Na. Did not. Vidu. Understand. Harim. Personality of Godhead. Minaha.
Nina,
fishes.
the fish
Liva udupam,
in
Viva,
the
like the moon.
like
This universe with all its planets is most unfortunate, and even more unfortunate are the members of the Yadu dynasty because they could not identify Lord Hari as the personality of Godhead any more than a fish could identify the moon. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Uddhava lamented for the unfortunate persons of the world who could not recognize Lord Sri Krishna in spite of seeing all his transcendental godly qualities. From the very beginning of his appearance within the prison bars of King Kamsa up to his Moshala Leela, although he exhibited his potencies as the personality of Godhead in six opulences of wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, the foolish persons of the world could not understand that he was the Supreme Lord. Foolish persons might have thought him an extraordinary historic figure because they had no intimate touch with the Lord. But more unfortunate were the family members of the Lord, the members of the Yadu dynasty, who were always in company with the Lord, but were unable to recognize him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Uddhava lamented his own misfortune also because although he knew Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he could not properly use the opportunity to render devotional service to the Lord. He regretted everyone's misfortune, including his own. The pure devotee of the Lord thinks himself most unfortunate, does it due to excessive love for the Lord, and is one of the transcendental perceptions of viraha, the suffering of separation. It is learned from the revealed scriptures that the moon was born from the milk ocean. There is a milk ocean in the upper planets, and there Lord Vishnu, who controls the heart of every living being, as Param Atma, the super soul, resides as the Chirodakashayi Vishnu. Those who do not believe in the existence of the ocean of milk, because they have experience of only the saltwater ocean, should know that the world is called go, which means cow. The urine of a cow is salty, and according to Ayurvedic medicine, the cow's urine is very effective in treating patients suffering from liver trouble. Such patients may not have any experience of cow's milk because milk is never given to liver patients. But the liver patient may know that the cow has milk also, although he has never tasted it. Similarly, men who have experience only of this tiny planet where the saltwater ocean exists may take information from the revealed scriptures that there's also an ocean of milk, although we have never seen it. From this ocean of milk, the moon was born, but the fish in the milk ocean could not recognize that the moon was not another fish and was different from them. The fish took the moon to be one of them, or maybe something illuminating, but nothing more. The unfortunate persons who do not recognize Lord Krishna are like such fish. They take him to be one of them, although the little extraordinary opulence, strength, etc. The Bhagavad Gita confirms such foolish persons to be most unfortunate. Abhajananti ma muda manusim tanam ashrita. Bhagavad Gita 9:11. Interesting number, right?
Yes, 9/11.
Yeah. Do they have that number in Africa? Is that the emergency number?
No, 112 is
In America, 911 is the emergency number. You know, you can call, even if you have no credit on your phone, you can call that number and you get the police.
Yeah, it is 112.
But, you know, the so-called planes crashing into that Twin Tower, that was on September 11. 9/11. It's an interesting coincidence. Or maybe not coincidence, nobody can prove. Avajananti mamudha manusimtana ashrita param bhava majananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in this human form. They don't know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. Om Gananta Mirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chaksut Umilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvisesha Sunibari Paschacha Desatar. Vanchkalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnave Bhyo Namaha. Hey, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gora Tushe Namaha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishri Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Garim Tat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Guru Dina Tarane. Okay. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Garim Tat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Guru Dina Tarane. So the fools, Krishna says in the same chapter, they think that I was impersonal and I've assumed this form. That's what all my buddies say. That the form of Krishna is an imaginary, it's not real. And there's some formless something that's doing all the things that Krishna does, which really doesn't make any sense because all the things Krishna does are personal things. He's communicating with people, he's talking, he's creating. All the things they say God does are things that persons do in smaller ways, not in this big way as Krishna. But because they can't conceive of a person being so great as Krishna, they say that God, can't really be a person. And they don't want to think of someone greater than them, they're envious people. So this is a very nice part of the Bhagavatam where it's all Krishna Leela. Here it's just introduction. Then it'll come to them remembering, Krishna's childhood and everything. Uddhava is one of the most closest associates of Krishna. He's actually Krishna's cousin. He looks exactly like Krishna. He wears only Krishna's remnants for clothes, Krishna's garlands, and he's even an advisor to Krishna as a minister. And Krishna sent him, to Vrindavan to try to pacify the gopis. And he just became overwhelmed with the love that the Brijvasis have for Krishna. And first they thought he was Krishna when they got there, but then they realized he wasn't. And then he stayed a long time because they were so anxious to hear about Krishna. And then he was present as Krishna was leaving this planet, and Krishna spoke the Uddhava Gita, spoke to him for a long time, a very expanded version of the Bhagavad Gita with details about all the things that Krishna just mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. So he's very exalted, and he wanted to go with Krishna. He wanted to go back to Godhead with him, but Krishna said, no, you have to stay and preach. You have to go to where would you go to in the Himalaya there and teach. I didn't get to visit those sages, so you have to go and teach them. So he heard all Krishna's final instructions. And here he's meeting Vidura, who was very close to Krishna. And he's lamenting for all the fools, like we should be lamenting for all the fools that, don't recognize Krishna, don't recognize the value of devotees, and don't read the Bhagavad Gita, won't chant the holy name, or just engaging in sense gratification. And then we try to help them. We try to do some sankirtan of some sort, distributing the mercy one way or another. I heard some really nice reports from Salika Prabhu about distributing books to different people. We have to think of ways, to meet people that aren't just at the bus stops and stuff. We want to go to the bus stops and distribute the holy name or a little prasadam. And we also want to go to educated people, universities, and, wherever they are, and actually spend time with them in a peaceful place and give them books. So even at the time of Krishna, very few people recognized who Krishna was. Now the Brijbasis, they didn't think of Krishna as God. Once in a while they would realize that, but they didn't like to think of him that way. But there's this yoga maya, it's out of pure love. That they just love Krishna for his beauty and his good qualities and his charm and his own giving them so much love, everything. And they don't want to think of him as all powerful and awe and reverence and everything. They're beyond that. Prabhupada gives examples like a judge. When the judge is in the courtroom, everybody has to stand up. Everybody has to honor the judge. Everyone has to do whatever he says. But when he goes home, his wife may bitch at him. His kids may jump on him and pick his pockets, and he may joke around with them. His wife may just joke around. It's different. He's a different person. So it's like that, Krishna with the pure devotees. But then there's others who just think he's an ordinary person. And there's no use for them. They don't love him. And some extreme like Duryodhana or something. He saw Krishna quite often. But he never thought of him as God. I think even up until the time of death, when he was right there, Krishna came right up to practically watch him leave the body. He was criticizing Krishna, saying that Krishna cheated. Krishna helped the Pandavas, and it's his fault that he lost his kingdom. And, he just thought something like, I guess, Hiranyakasipu thought. He couldn't think of Vishnu even as a supreme God. He just thought he must have done more tapasya than me, got a little more power. So I can defeat him by more tapasya, more yagas or whatever. So we should be lamenting, but not just crying about it. We should be trying to think how to help people, how to have more programs, how to have more temples, more devotees, more kirtans everywhere, more programs in houses, more programs in schools, churches, wherever we can have a chance to present the holy name. Krishna, Kamsa also, he never could understand that Krishna is the supreme God. He was even criticizing Akura, like, how can you think Krishna is God? He's just a little boy, he's so good, he killed a few demons. Anyone can do that. Couldn't understand up until the point he got killed, he couldn't understand. So we're very fortunate that we have some understanding. But we can see even our temples, devotees, and they see the deity, and see the temple. We think this is God, this is Krishna. And we want to do some service. We want to chant for him, or we want to dance, we want to dress him, we want to cook for him, we want to decorate his body, we want to bring more guests to the temple. We want to do something for Krishna's pleasure. But foolish people, they just think, okay, that's a nice doll, a nice statue or something. Or they'll think it's demoniac idol worship. Different people have different ideas. When devotees read the Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita, they think this is Krishna. Some people will just think this is, there's no, nothing about sense gratification. Everything's about Krishna. They think it's boring. No sex, no. Or they don't like that it says you shouldn't eat meat, you shouldn't kill cows, or you shouldn't have, intoxication. And they think this is not nice. Devotees think they understand the value, but there's no limit to how great the Bhagavatam is. We have a little bit of an understanding. But if we keep reading it, I was just listening to our great scholar, Radhika Raman Prabhu, Radha Raman. He's learned to read from Srimad Bhagavatam with his family and got his PhD when he was 21 years old from Oxford. So he was talking about the Bhagavatam and how it's so special in every way, even as any kind of literature, as poetry, as vocabulary, as grammar. There's nothing compares in any Vedic literature. He said that when he was studying at Oxford, one professor from India, who was the head of the Vaishnava Academy at Madras University, older gentleman, and he told him, he said, Ravi, I'm not bragging, but I have studied all the Vedas, I've studied all the Puranas, I've studied everything. But I'll tell you, there's nothing like Srimad Bhagavatam. Nothing compares. It's the Amala Purana, the spotless Purana, and anyone who can have a chance to read it or attend a class, Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhakti Sevaya. By regular attendance on the classes, the Srimad Bhagavatam, all that is inauspicious in the heart will be destroyed almost to nil. Unless loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental song, will become an irrevocable fact. No one can take it away. We can throw away the bhakti we get if we are foolish, but no one else can take it away from us. Sometimes we think, oh, somebody won't let me serve. Somebody won't let me, I can't do this because of somebody, but that's not a fact. Only we can stop ourselves. So Krishna, he exhibited all the wealth, unlimited wealth we read about, giving 13,000 cows every day in charity, strength, and fame, No one's more famous. Everybody in the world has heard of God and has some, some kind of idea. Beauty, that's supposed to be the most wonderful feature of Krishna's opulence, is his beauty. That surpasses all the other ones and is the most wonderful thing to think about of Krishna's opulences and knowledge. He can think about the Gita, blah, blah, blah. It's such an amazing book that people can study it their whole life and still can't. It just gets deeper and deeper. And renunciation, he's not attached. As Krishna didn't exhibit exactly renunciation, but as Lord Ramachandra, he did. He gave up Sita, his beloved wife. He gave up his when his father asked him, he was supposed to become crowned as a king the next day, and he gave it up. Lord Chaitanya, he took sannyas, gave up everything. But even Krishna had all these opulences, but he's not attached, not proud of them. He's renounced. It's just, he doesn't, it's not like me. If I get a lot of opulence, I'll be attached. I'll be wondering what to do with it. I'll be afraid someone's going to take it away, whatever. But Krishna, nothing like that. It's just part of him. So even at that time, most people couldn't understand that he was the Supreme Lord. They might have thought he's more powerful. Even modern scholar historians, they say Krishna was a great king who somehow or other, created what do they call it in politics, when you bring a bunch of different parties together, right? To defeat another party. So he got a bunch of different kings to combine, and so he did something. But he was just a powerful king. Like there's been so many that they don't understand, or some are even more crazy. One time I was in India in Ahmedabad, and we some kind of program. I don't know why it was Christian people, and the way the Christians were at that time were preaching in India was, Krishna's a dacoit, Krishna's a thief, Krishna's he's got all these girlfriends, he's dancing with other men's wives, he had 16,000 wives. How can you worship such a person? They were asking us questions like that. So they had studied, they know Krishna's pastimes, but they just totally couldn't understand, God can't be a person. He just has to be something else. One time in Israel, I was distributing one Jewish guy. He took the Krishna book out of my, I handed it to him. I was trying to sell it. And he started looking through. He found a picture of Krishna. He said, see, he's a person. He's a man. He can't be God. That can't be God. He's a man. And then give the book back and he's off, So people have all these wrong ideas still. So Uddhava is crying, suffering for the suffering of these people. The real suffering is they don't know Krishna. There is so much suffering in the material world. I just saw, it was Tulsi Maharani, one of our African girls. She said, do you think Krishna makes us suffer? Because we neglect him or something. He doesn't make us suffer. We make ourselves suffer. Krishna made, we wanted the material world. Krishna made it to try to help us, but it has, it is the material world, it's karma. So we get reactions. It's not that Krishna is picking us out for suffering. We create our own suffering. people say, if God is good, why is there war? Why are all these things happening? You know, the Muslims that are terrorizing here and there, they all claim it's in the name of God. The Jews who are killing so many people, retaliating, think it's, you know, it's in the name of God also. But it's just an animal life, fighting for your property, fighting for something, you know. And Uddhava is crying for himself, it says, because he knew that Krishna was the Supreme Lord, but he couldn't serve him properly. But he did great service, sometimes advising Krishna. Like it was Uddhava who advised Krishna to, you know, before Yudhishthira could do the Rajasuya sacrifice, that Krishna should eliminate Jarasandha. Uddhava and Krishna took that advice. He went and pacified the gopis by just telling them about Krishna all the time. But the pure devotee, it says, he thinks himself most unfortunate because he has so much love for Krishna. And suffering and separation, but that suffering and separation is actually some kind of ecstasy, because thinking of Krishna so intensely is the same as Krishna being there. So the example here is quite interesting. At the moon, I read, remember a long time ago when I was first reading things, that the moon was produced out of the ocean. And then, you know, if you think of this ocean on this planet, that seems like a little difficult to comprehend. The moon is quite big, but it's out of the milk ocean, which is much bigger outside, you know, beyond, you know, it's in the universe, but the fish in the milk ocean, even fish are in the milk ocean, they couldn't understand what the moon was. They just think it's a big fish. We have a saying in American English, maybe you have, they have that. You can't see the forest for the trees. You have that saying? And in Jewish, they say you can't see, the fish can't see the water.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, the fish can't see the water. So here it says that the fish just thought that, you know, the moon is another big fish. And we can't believe in the milk ocean because we only know the saltwater ocean. Planets are called, Krishna's planet is called Goloka, planet of the cows. Cow urine is salty, and it's very good for health, many diseases. Ganachakshus, when he goes to India, he buys like hundreds of these bottles of cow dung pills. And he says his people, they love those. And many people say how it's helped them so much with different diseases. So we only know this little tiny planet. So it's sometimes very hard to understand, you know, greater things. But why not? There's always something bigger and better than us, and something bigger and better and bigger and better in other planets until the spiritual world. So the foolish people, abhijananti ma muda, the fools, they think that Krishna is assumed, they deride him when they come in his human form, and they think I've assumed this form and really I'm something else, and all this madness. So and so then, you know, we have people that think idol worship, the deity is idol worship, but it's not idol, it's very active. Worshipping the deity is a very busy activity, it's not idle. Krishna, the deity is a living thing, as Krishna Like, I just think about it sometimes. Sometimes we say it's time for the offering. It's time for this. We have to do that. And some Trajaris think Krishna wants to eat now. Krishna wants to wake up now. Krishna wants to take rest now. Krishna wants a bath now. It's much better to think that way. It's very personal. All right. So let's stop for questions. I see that there's 18 people, 16, but somehow I turned off something. It says don't show the ones that don't have the camera on. So now I can't find how to turn that back on. So I can only see the 4. I see Quadwo and Madhavan and Sahadev. But I know others are there somewhere. That was a pretty good trick, driving your car and just turned upside down. Okay. So any questions or comment?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
I want to just say we sing a little bit. In Nigeria, we got a special gift from Bali Prabhu, and I know everybody cares about Bali, and he's not with us anymore. But if you distribute those books that he gave us, it'll benefit him very greatly. For every time anyone distributes a book, Bali will get so much benefit. Right?
Yes.
So that's one mode. The other is that Guru will be very pleased. Lord Chaitanya will be very pleased, and the atmosphere of your country will get purified and much better. The more people get books, the better, the closer we get to making things right. All right?
Yeah.
Govinda Das it is. Camera's at a very weird angle. Okay? So
Krishna.
hit me with a question, all right?
So, dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, realizations, please you may indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand. I don't know where Salika ran to. Salika is supposed to be running the show, but maybe he's busy somewhere. Maharaj,
Sorry. I was only helping you.
Maharaj, I humbly wish to express, and I believe on behalf of all the devotees on this particular platform, to express our utmost and dearest appreciation. Of course, we know that the disciple can never repay the guru, but it's our humblest and littlest attempt to express our appreciation to your holiness of how you are encouraging us in so many different fronts, particularly on this particular Sangha, on this Zoom, because as busy as you are traveling to different geographical zones, you still manage to find a way to be with us, to share your love, wisdom with us, and encourage us on this wonderful path. So we can't thank you, but this is just something little to truly and honestly express our appreciation to your holiness for such encouragement and blessings and directional example for us to try to emulate. And we pray at your lotus feet that, Maharaj, you bless us to also try to live this example so that others may also see what we do and hopefully attract them to also try to do the same thing. So, Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you for having this platform. But I see it, Kusha Prabhu, we did a really good job of getting so many wonderful speakers, finding new ones all the time. So you're very fortunate. And please take advantage,
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, my question is on this fortunate souls. We're reading that Uddhava is pitying the Yadavas because not all of them recognize the position of Krishna. So my question is, what brings about this misfortune that one may be very, very close to a great person and yet miss that this is a great person and I have to take the best opportunity associating with this person and learning from this person. We come very close to such a great person, yet we do not take advantage. What makes us not have this fortune to understand the greatness, the importance of the individual and take the necessary advantage?
Well, I don't think it's yoga maya for most of us. Sometimes it could be that you just take that person to be your friend, and don't really think of how great they are. But otherwise, we just have our own false ego, and we don't like to think that somebody is superior to us or whatever. It could be many reasons. The modes of nature are always acting. So sometimes the mode of passion is influencing us. Sometimes the mode of goodness. Sometimes the mode of ignorance. So there's no pure of any of those things. They're all mixed up all the time, and the proportions are changing. So we see things in different ways. But we should practice. Prabhupada gave us instruction early on to see every devotee as Prabhu. And if we practice addressing everyone as Prabhu, but not thinking of myself as Prabhu. Nowadays, when they've come up with this idea, men are Prabhu and women are Maharajas, some devotees, I've heard they learn that Prabhu means master, and then they keep seeing Prabhu's over here or calling him Prabhu, and they start to think I'm the master. That's not right. But if we practice that will help. Prabhupada saw everyone as Prabhu, so he called women Prabhu. He didn't discriminate. He saw everyone as his master. He didn't see the body. Now, a lot of the men nowadays, we don't want to call the women Prabhu. Somebody said, well, in Sanskrit, that's not proper. It'd have to be Prabhi or something, and just go on. But we don't have to necessarily address, but and to think of everybody as our master, that I'm a servant. If we keep understanding I'm Das, my name is Das, we generally don't introduce ourselves with the Das name. We just use our Krishna name, but it's Krishna Das, Rama Das, right? Go Das. We're actually Go Das, servant of the senses. So because the senses are imperfect, we might not see things in proper perspective.
Well, thank you so much, Maharaj. I think, Kusha Prabhu, please, you may unmute Kusha.
I have a question on the Battle of Kurukshetra, Israel and Mecca. I've been thinking when Krishna was on the planet, Kurukshetra was a holy land and there was war. Jesus came to Israel, Muhammad came to Mecca. Till today, they always fight. Why is it that only people where God took birth are fighting and destroying the world? Does Tamoguna affect the place the God himself appeared? Right now, Iran and Israel are fighting, leading to a third world war, like Kurukshetra. But we are worshiping the beings of God that appear on this place. I'm trying to understand what will be the cause of it. Does it mean that the presence of God doesn't affect these people to live a righteous life, not to be killing human beings? That's my question.
It's Kali Yuga. It sounds like, it's a cop-out, but I remember one jazz song I heard when I was, before I was a devotee, but it said, President, he's got his war. Folks don't know just what it's for, But you have one doubt, they call it treason. These wars are just political things, big demons, and it's Kali Yuga. So Kali means quarrel. Quarrel means fighting for no real reason, but they have this idea of vengeance. But the Bible says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. You let karma do its work. We're just saying, well, Jews, bombed my grandfather. A Muslim killed my great-grandmother. So we have to retaliate. So, and they're protecting their property. They think they're protecting their children, but then killing others. And it's a Kali Yuga. This is the nature of the material world. In the jungle, where it may seem peaceful, but there's all kinds of struggles going on for existence. The trees are fighting with each other for the water, for the sunlight, there's so many insects that are trying to hide from animals that eat them, and there's animals trying to hide from predators, and it's the nature of the material world. But humans are supposed to rise above it. So we want to try, to get faith in Harinama Eva Kevalam, Kalona Steva, God turn on your top. There's no other way to make peace. And these people that think they can make peace by having bigger, like America, having so many bombs. America brags, we're so powerful. We spend more money on defense than the next 8 countries combined. Why do they need so much defense? Because they're so afraid, fearful, because they've bombed so many people, they're afraid of retaliation. So the Israel and Iran are not fighting at the moment. Iran just kept saying they're going to fight, and everybody's trying to stop them. So that would be nice if all the other countries would unite to say, stop all this, if they had the power. But they don't have the power. They just tell them, stop fighting. Then, unless they can say, if you don't stop fighting, we're going to blow you off the map, then they don't want to do that. So we have a task, to spread the holy name, to spread the Bhagavad Gita and let people understand that they're not their body. And there's no reason to be fighting. There's enough food and land for everybody. But as long as they have it, this so-called political or religious fighting is not at all religious. It's just political stuff. And nobody's going by their scripture, but they think they are. All right? Why is there fighting? Why do husbands and wives fight? Why do, dogs and cats fight, or monkeys and dogs fight?
Yes, I understand this aspect, but the aspect of God reincarnating in this land that causing all this chaos is confusing. One expects holy men to come from Israel, from Iran, from India, but they are all fighting.
Yeah, somebody's creating fights and making a profit for it, and so many things we can't keep up, you know. So I can't explain it. I'm not a politician. We don't want to get involved in politics.
Yes.
We have to be careful. Okay, one more. Then they're waiting for me. We're supposed to be going for a big Harinam.
Yes.
As far as I know, it was just scheduled yesterday.
Okay. Dear devotees, does anyone have something to share or ask before Maharaj leaves for? Oh, Madhuvan Prabhu. Dear devotees, this is going to be probably the last question because Maharaj has to leave for another engagement. Madhuvan Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, sir. Madhavan, is that?
Forgive me so much.
Yes, Madhuvan.
Yeah. My simple question is, if it happens that even the members of the Yadu dynasty who are always in company of the Lord, but are unable to recognize him as the supreme personality of Godhead, if that happens, then how is it going to be easy for ordinary people like us to introduce people to Krishna consciousness? It looks like a very difficult Herculean task, looking at it in this perspective. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
I couldn't hear quite, the accent or something.
He was asking that his internet is not strong, so breaking up. But he is asking if the Yadavas, who were always in close contact with Krishna, could not even recognize him as the Supreme Lord, then what to speak of us, the ordinary conditioned souls? So it seems a very Herculean task for us as devotees to present Krishna to non-devotees that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What do we do?
Pray.
Madhuvan, I hope you will hear it, and devotees, all of us.
Yes, yeah, correct.
Yadavas, they were intimate with Krishna, but they thought him more as a family member, than as the Supreme Lord. And even Arjuna, he was, after he saw the universal form, he got disturbed that, I didn't realize who you were, and I was treating you like my friend, and I was familiar with you and joking, and please forgive me. But then Krishna again became Krishna, and Krishna likes it when somebody, but we're getting special mercy. We had the Bhagavatam, and it's medicine, and if we just keep taking it, something will happen. We'll get that really. We have some, obviously you wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be chanting, you wouldn't, come to class, you wouldn't try to preach if you didn't have some understanding who Krishna is. But the devotee is never satisfied. He always wants more. All right. So I leave a message again. In Nigeria and Ghana both, a very big supply of books. And there's quite a few Bhagavatam sets were donated because devotees said they had people to buy them and they were going to distribute them. And they've been there a long time. So now is this Bhadra Purnima month coming up. So please, make effort, distribute those Bhagavatam sets. Buy one for yourself and read it. But in all the other books, there's many of every book. Many. And you're not, if you, we don't have a lot of facility. We don't have Sankirtan vans. We don't, but you can still find ways to do it. Salika just was at some program. He did like 100 books. I don't know. I didn't get the exact what books, but There's all kinds of ways, go to the universities, just give books to the professors, and they will become friends, and they will influence other people to buy the books, or to become devotees. Okay?
Okay. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
The more you give, the more you get. The more you give Krishna, the more you get Krishna. How are you going to get Krishna? Lord Chaitanya gave us a simple process. Yare deke kare deke Krishna upadesh. Agaya hor tare desh. Wherever you go and whoever you meet, tell them about Krishna. Okay? Thank you very much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna
Dear
Krishna.
devotees, we're going to humbly request all
Hare
to
Rama,
kindly unmute.
Rama
We
Rama,
all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, please.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Jai. Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Rama,
Rama Rama Hari Hari
Vancha
Vanchakapataruvyascha Kripasandavya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
His Holiness Kavicandra Swami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai, Jai,
All glories to his confounder, Chara Shila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai.